we can tell that we're having a pretty strong conversation about effort versus trusting, about letting it be rather than making it be. And it's also a strong conversation or evidence of a belief. It's sort of like pushing the noodle. It's the difference between allowing it to unfold and trying to make it unfold. And there's a belief within you, it's within a lot of people, that says, my attention to it and my effort factor are what are going to make this go. And we say, it's actually the other way around. It's your absence of resistance that's going to let something that you want go. It's not your attention to it and your hard work and effort that makes it go. And people don't get that because there is a certain action factor that does make the difference. In other words, you could line people up with something to move from one place to another, and a strong person could pick it up and move it faster than a weaker person. Someone more determined is going to move that physical thing further. But that's not the game you play in. You're playing in a game of higher stakes with faster currents and energies and bigger repercussions and bigger results than just moving something from one place to another. So don't let yourself be confused about what a little bit of mediocre action can accomplish in relationship with what true alignment to the energy that creates worlds can accomplish. And sometimes people sacrifice their alignment and all of that power for just using their brute strength or willingness to dig in with their minds to accomplish something. Did you hear that? And you know how you can tell the difference? By how it feels. If it feels hard, it isn't working. If it feels hard, you're working. It isn't working. Allowing the universe to provide is really what you're wanting to have at the basis of all of this. You're thinking things into being. You're not doing things into being. You're finding a vibration that then allows a thought. And when you receive the thought, which inspires an action, that's a whole other thing than making something happen by realizing that you've got to dig in and make it happen. Can you feel the difference? It would be like saying, I've lived enough life to know what I want relative to, let's say, a relationship. Just stay with us for a moment. And I don't currently have that dominant, significant relationship that I want. But I've lived enough life and I've put it into the vortex. So now I'm going to trust the universe to yield it to me through my path of least resistance. And then you get an idea. I'm going to do online dating. Well, you want to ask yourself, where did that idea come from? Did it come from here or did it come from here? Is it effort? Is it logic and statistics? Or was it truly an inspired thought? Or I'm wanting to create a magnificent business enterprise and I put all of my desires and interests into my vortex and then I get an idea. Well, did the idea come from alignment or is it an action-oriented idea that I've tried before? You have to play with this a little bit before you know the difference. Just have to play with it for a while. And soon you'll be able to tell the difference about where the impulse is coming from the receiving mode of my connection with Source or from the receiving mode of me just being tired of not having what I want. You're always in some receiving mode because your tuner is always on. You just want to be aware of what you've got it tuned to. And you can tell that in a pretty accurate way by just assessing what's my general mood been today. If I've been just sort of awkward in my being and ornery and disappointed about life and discouraged and halfway depressed, it's a pretty good sign that every idea you got came from here, not here. What's my mood? And if that's been your mood, then when you go to bed tonight, say, I'm going to leave these thoughts and these moods somewhere else, because while I sleep, the momentum of all of that will subside. And when I awaken, I'm going to be in a new place. And then when you wake up, acknowledge that you're in a new place. And if you can find time to meditate for 15 minutes, and we know you can, quiet your mind and reset yourself, and then notice how this day plays out. We've been talking about meditation with you all a lot today, and we know that these are only words to you until you've actually quieted your mind and gotten to that place where you are actually feeling detached from your body and where you can actually feel yourself feeling different than you have felt in terms of consciousness, and where you're detached enough that you really can't tell your toe from your nose. In other words, you can feel that you're in that different space, and then an idea occurs to you and feels good when it occurs, and then produces really good experience as you follow through with it. Until you've actually had that experience, then you don't know what we're talking about here. You haven't personally and consciously access the energy that creates worlds for your personal creation. And so Esther's been noticing there are a couple of people in her life that she really likes a lot and thinks a lot about, and they are often presenting to her a conundrum that they can't quite work through. And she's been wanting so much for them to discover the magic and the clarity and the power of meditation, but they just don't quite go there. They just don't quite go there. Someone gave her a really good analogy the other day. It's like getting in your car to go somewhere and refusing to bring your keys.